Thank you for choosing Wisdom of the Dharma. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a new update. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful, life-changing wisdom with the world. And don't forget to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's grow and learn together. The hidden leak you never noticed. Have you ever had a moment where you sat quietly, staring at your finances, wondering, where did it all go? You worked hard. You made smart choices. Yet somehow, no matter how much money came in, it slipped away like water through your fingers. At first, you might blame the rising cost of living. Maybe you think it's just bad luck, or not enough hustle. But what if the real problem isn't out there? What if the real leak is happening inside your own home? Not in your bank account, not in your wallet, but quietly, invisibly, in your kitchen? It might sound strange, even unbelievable. But what I'm about to share with you today has quietly transformed the fortunes of countless families. Not through risky investments, not through endless overtime hours, but through something much simpler, much closer, and much more powerful than you ever imagined. You see, in the ancient wisdom of Feng Shui, and in the deeper currents of Buddhist teachings, the kitchen isn't just the place where you prepare meals. It's the heartbeat of your home's prosperity. A sacred chamber where energy is stored, nurtured, and either strengthened, or silently drained. And when the energy of the kitchen becomes blocked, imbalanced, or neglected, the effects ripple out quietly but powerfully, affecting your wealth, your health, even the harmony of your entire family. It's not about superstition. It's about understanding the subtle but undeniable relationship between the physical world and the flow of energy that surrounds and fills us. Today, we're going to walk into your kitchen together, with new eyes. We're going to uncover the tiny habits, the hidden objects, and the overlooked arrangements that might be quietly working against you. And more importantly, I'll show you simple, mindful changes you can make. Practical steps rooted in ancient wisdom that can shift the energy of your home and open new pathways for wealth, peace, and abundance to return. Because true prosperity doesn't start in your job title, your paycheck, or the stock market. It starts here, in the unseen corners of the places you live and breathe every day. So before we dive deeper, I invite you to pause and make a quiet promise to yourself. I am ready to see with new eyes. I am ready to welcome abundance. Leave this affirmation in the comments below. Let it be your first step, not just in watching this video, but in reshaping the very energy of your life. And now, let's open the door to the kitchen. And open the door to a new chapter of wealth, clarity, and peace. Part 1. The kitchen, a hidden temple of wealth. If the front door of your home is where opportunity enters, and the bedroom is where your energy is restored, then the kitchen is where your prosperity is quietly cultivated, or quietly lost. In Feng Shui traditions, the kitchen is called one of the three great pillars that determine the fortune of a household. But even beyond Feng Shui, when we look through the lens of Buddhist teachings, the kitchen becomes something even more sacred. It is the temple of daily life, a place where fire and water dance together, where nourishment transforms into vitality, and where the silent exchanges between giving and receiving unfold. In the ancient monasteries, kitchens were never just about cooking. They were spaces of devotion. Monks would prepare meals with silent mindfulness, believing that the energy imbued in the food would either uplift or burden the spirit of those who ate it. Even a simple bowl of rice was treated with reverence, seen not merely as nourishment, but as the condensed labor of earth, rain, sun, and countless beings. Your home kitchen holds the same invisible power. Every item you keep, every habit you form there, weaves into the energetic fabric that surrounds your health, your relationships, and yes, your wealth. When the kitchen space is clean, balanced, and flowing, it naturally invites abundance. It sends a quiet message to the universe. I am ready to nourish life. I am ready to receive life's blessings. But when the kitchen is cluttered, neglected, or energetically heavy, that message changes to one of scarcity, blockage, and slow decay. The stove, in particular, is often referred to as the wealth cauldron in ancient texts. It is not just where meals are cooked, it is where the seed energy for financial stability is nurtured. A poorly maintained stove, a neglected flame, often mirrors a household where money arrives with effort but departs without reason. It's easy to overlook. You rush through meals, stacking dishes, tossing groceries into crowded cabinets. But each unconscious act leaves a tiny imprint. And over time, those imprints gather, until the home itself seems to breathe out fatigue, scarcity, and tension. The good news is this. Because the energy is alive, it can be changed. The kitchen, no matter how long it has been neglected, can be revived into a sacred space again. With small, mindful shifts, you can transform it from a source of silent leakage into a magnetic center of prosperity. In the chapters ahead, we'll uncover exactly how. But for now, take a quiet moment to imagine your kitchen not as a chore space, but as a living altar. A place where every meal, every bowl, every breath prepares the soil for your own abundant future. Because when you honor the temple of your home, the temple within you begins to awaken too. Part 2, Bowls and the Energy of Receiving. A bowl seems simple, a vessel for food, nothing more. But through the lens of ancient wisdom, the bowl carries a profound message. It represents how we receive life's gifts. In Buddhist tradition, monks walk with empty bowls, not as beggars, but as a living reminder. I am open. I trust. I am ready to receive with gratitude. Now think about how we often treat bowls at home. After washing, we flip them upside down for practicality, to dry quickly, to stay clean. Yet energetically, this small habit sends a subtle message. I close myself. I reject the blessings meant for me. When bowls are stored upside down, the energy of openness reverses into resistance. We may not hear it, but the universe does. And slowly, our lives reflect this closed posture. If you feel like abundance slips away despite your hard work, perhaps the block isn't in your effort, but in small, unconscious signals you're sending every day. Let me tell you about Claire. A hard-working single mother, she struggled for years. No matter how carefully she saved, new expenses always appeared: car repairs, medical bills, broken appliances. Life felt like a constant uphill battle. After attending a small mindfulness class, she was encouraged to view her home with fresh eyes. In her kitchen, she noticed every bowl was stored upside down. Remembering the lesson on symbolic energy, she paused. That evening, she turned every bowl upright with quiet intention, whispering, I welcome support. I am open to blessings. It was a small act, almost laughably simple. But something shifted. Over the following months, unexpected refunds arrived, side jobs opened up, and friends reached out to help without her asking. It wasn't magic. It was mindfulness, redirecting her energy field, reshaping the unseen invitations she sent to the universe. Every time you place a bowl upright, you declare, I am open to life. I am ready to nourish and be nourished. And so, next time you finish washing dishes, pause. Dry the bowls with care. Place them open and waiting, like a flower inviting rain. Infuse this simple act with gratitude. Because true prosperity doesn't burst in all at once. It gathers quietly, like raindrops filling an open bowl, steady, soft, and certain. Part 3, The Silent Clash, Microwave versus Refrigerator. In the quest for convenience, we often create silent conflicts we don't realize. One common example hides in plain sight. Placing the microwave directly on top of the refrigerator. At first glance, it feels practical, saving space, keeping things tidy. But energy, much like water and fire, obeys deeper laws than convenience. In Feng Shui, this simple arrangement creates what is called a cold-heat conflict. Two opposing forces, trapped together without balance, generating invisible tension. The refrigerator holds yin energy, coolness, stillness, preservation. The microwave radiates yang energy, heat, speed, agitation. One soothes, the other ignites. Stack them together, and you trap fire over ice. The clash doesn't cause immediate chaos, but over time, it slowly stirs discomfort. Families living with this imbalance often experience more arguments, restlessness, or financial instability, even if they can't pinpoint why. Let me share a story. Daniel and Mia had just moved into a tiny New York apartment. To save space, they stacked their microwave atop the fridge, logical and efficient. But months later, cracks began to appear. Arguments flared over small things. Unexpected bills piled up. Work opportunities slipped away. Mia stumbled across a small article about home energy. Skeptical but curious, they made one change. They placed a soft green cloth between the microwave and fridge, a simple bridge between fire and water. It felt insignificant at the time. Yet in the following weeks, arguments eased. Financial surprises lessened. A quiet ease settled back into their lives. Was it magic? No. It was balance, subtle, but powerful. If you feel ongoing tension at home, take a closer look at your kitchen. If your microwave rests directly atop your refrigerator, create a bridge. Use a green, teal, or blue cloth, the wood element. In the 5 elements theory, wood harmonizes both water and fire, gently neutralizing their clash. Place it mindfully, with intention. I create balance. I invite peace. Because often, the struggles we face are not from external enemies, but from silent wars raging within the walls we call home. In Buddhist philosophy, true peace is born not from dominance, but from harmony. When the forces in your home are aligned, life flows easier. Abundance finds you. Opportunities blossom without force. And sometimes, a small piece of cloth placed with awareness can open the door to an entirely different life. Part 4. When too much wood becomes a problem. What has always symbolized life, growth, stability, and warmth. Naturally, many of us fill our kitchens with wooden objects, chopping boards, spoons, trays. They bring an earthy charm, a sense of grounding. But even the most life-affirming elements, when overused, create imbalance. In energy wisdom, wood is highly absorptive. It soaks up not just moisture and oils, but energetic residues, the silent burdens of the space. When a kitchen is overwhelmed with wood, it becomes heavy, stagnant, sluggish. Jacob's story illustrates this perfectly. A skilled craftsman, he adored wood. Over time, his kitchen transformed into a wooden shrine, wooden shelves, bowls, trays everywhere. At first, he loved it. But slowly, he began to feel drained. His appetite waned. Opportunities dried up without clear cause. One day, visiting an old mentor, a retired monk, Jacob found clarity. The monk smiled gently and said, "Even the tree must let go of its leaves to grow strong. Too much holding becomes suffocation." Jacob realized the beauty of what had turned into an energetic trap. He kept only a few beloved pieces. He replaced heavy wooden counters with a mix of stone and metal. He cleaned every item with salt and vinegar, clearing both physical and energetic residues. Within weeks, his energy lightened. Clients returned. His creativity bloomed again. It wasn't magic. It was restoring balance, honoring wood without drowning in it. If you love the earthy warmth of wood, you don't have to abandon it. You simply need mindfulness. Select a few well cared for wooden items. Use them thoughtfully, preferably for dry or cool foods, not greasy or heavy cooking. Clean them regularly with natural cleaners. Let old pieces go when their time has passed. Rotate, refresh, renew. Because in Buddhist practice, clinging, even to beauty, is still clinging. And clinging leads to stagnation. Today, walk through your kitchen with new eyes. Feel which objects nourish you, and which quietly weigh you down. Release what needs releasing. Honor what deserves to stay. Because when your space breathes freely, your spirit breathes freely too. And in a kitchen where energy flows lightly, life's blessings find it easier to enter and stay. Part 5, Dead Energy, Expired Condiments and the Blocked Flow. A kitchen is meant to be alive, a space of nourishment and vitality. But hidden deep within many kitchens are silent threats, expired condiments, stale oils, forgotten spices. At first, they seem harmless, a dusty jar here, a bottle there. But in the unseen language of energy, these items carry dead energy, stagnant, blocked, heavy. Like a river choked with fallen debris, a kitchen full of expired goods loses its ability to flow. Instead of fresh vitality, it harbors sluggishness, confusion, and a slow drain of fortune. There's a story I once heard about a small restaurant owner named Marcus. For years, he struggled to keep his business afloat. He tried everything, new menus, better marketing, longer hours. But no matter how much effort he poured in, customers came sporadically, and income barely covered costs. One day, after a conversation with a visiting Zen teacher, he was challenged to look, not at his marketing plans, but at his kitchen. There, hidden behind gleaming surfaces, they found it, rows of expired sauces, forgotten spices, oils that had long turned rancid. The kitchen, though outwardly clean, was spiritually burdened by the energy of neglect. Following the teacher's advice, Marcus spent an entire weekend purging his kitchen. Every expired item was thanked, released, and replaced with fresh, vibrant ingredients. The energy shifted palpably. And strangely, or perhaps not so strangely, business picked up within weeks. The space felt lighter. The food tasted brighter. The customers lingered longer, smiling more, recommending the place to friends. It wasn't superstition. It was the natural consequence of clearing what no longer served life. When you allow old condiments, dead oils, and stale spices to accumulate, you are, in essence, filling your sacred space with memories of the past, with nourishment that once had purpose but now weighs you down. From the perspective of Buddhist practice, this clinging to what is expired mirrors a deeper attachment within, the reluctance to let go of what no longer nourishes your spirit. True abundance, like fresh water, requires movement. It requires trust that when you release what is old, life will naturally bring what is new. Take time today to open your cabinets with gentle, mindful eyes. Touch each bottle, each jar. Ask yourself quietly, does this still nourish life? If the answer is no, bless it for its service, and let it go. In doing so, you are not merely cleaning your kitchen. You are clearing pathways for wealth, health, and joy to flow back into your life. Because when dead energy is cleared, life doesn't just trickle in, it rushes forward, vibrant and unstoppable, like a river finally set free. Part 6, Heavy Burdens, Clutter Above Cabinets. Some burdens we see. Others, we simply feel, like an invisible weight pressing quietly on the heart. Often, this weight doesn't come from the mess we notice every day. It hides above us, on top of kitchen cabinets, tucked out of sight, forgotten. We pile old pots, unused bags, dusty boxes, thinking it doesn't matter if we can't see it. But energy doesn't follow the rules of our eyesight. It flows, or stalls, based on reality, not on our awareness. When the space above your cabinets is clogged and heavy, it's like a ceiling pressing down on your vitality, your opportunities, your spirit. There was a man named Jonathan who learned this lesson the hard way. For years, he worked tirelessly to grow his small consulting business. Despite his skills, opportunities felt strangely capped, like something unseen was keeping him from breaking through to the next level. One afternoon, as he cleaned his kitchen for the first time in months, he happened to glance up. There, covered in a thin veil of dust, were old boxes he hadn't touched in years, boxes filled with broken gadgets, faded cookbooks, even unopened mail from another lifetime. Feeling a strange sense of urgency, he cleared everything away. He scrubbed the tops of the cabinets clean. He placed a single, small vase with a fresh flower in its place, light, open, vibrant. It seemed like such a small thing. But the change in the atmosphere was immediate. Within weeks, new clients reached out. Negotiations that had stalled suddenly moved forward. Jonathan himself felt different, lighter, more decisive, more alive. It was not magic. It was the release of invisible burdens he didn't even know he had been carrying. When you allow clutter to accumulate above your head, your spirit feels it. A part of you is always looking up, sensing the weight, feeling the unspoken unfinished business pressing down. In Feng Shui, the space above the kitchen, especially over the stove, the heart of nourishment, is seen as the sky over your wealth. If that sky is heavy, crowded, stagnant, it cannot rain blessings freely into your life. In Buddhist practice, this teaches us a profound truth. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is returning to freedom. So take time to honor the space above your cabinets. Clear it. Clean it. Let it breathe. If you wish, place one light, joyful object there. A symbol of spaciousness, like a simple plant, a piece of clear quartz, or even nothing at all. Allow the invisible sky above your kitchen to open again. Wide, free, ready to shower your life with new energy, new possibilities. Because when you release the heavy burdens above you, you create a space where abundance doesn't have to struggle to find its way in. It arrives effortlessly, like sunlight pouring into an open field. Part 7. Invisible Blades, Knives and the Mind's Sharpness. Knives are among the oldest tools humanity has ever known. They are instruments of survival, of craftsmanship, of nourishment. In the kitchen, they slice and shape the raw gifts of the earth into meals that sustain life. Yet, in the language of energy, knives carry a dual nature. They are not simply tools, they are embodiments of sharpness. And when sharpness is left exposed, unattended, it does not merely affect the physical space, it quietly cuts into the emotional and energetic field of the home. A knife displayed openly on a counter, a pair of scissors left standing upright, a blade resting bare on a shelf. These are not neutral. They are silent signals of tension, aggression, and unrest. You may not notice it at first. But live long enough with exposed blades, and you may find yourself becoming quicker to anger, more easily unsettled, more prone to conflict over the smallest things. There's a story about a woman named Elena. She was known for her bright spirit and loving home. Yet after moving into a new apartment, she found herself increasingly irritable. Arguments with her children flared over trivial matters. Sleep became restless. A constant undercurrent of tension buzzed beneath even the happiest moments. One evening, as she was cleaning, her eyes fell upon the kitchen counter. There, in a wooden block, stood a row of gleaming knives, sharp, proud, exposed. Without thinking much, she placed the knives in a drawer, out of sight, tucked safely away. The effect was immediate and surprising. The atmosphere softened. Laughter returned to family dinners. Even her own inner world felt calmer, more grounded. It wasn't the knives themselves that had caused the unrest. It was their energy, their silent presence, amplifying sharpness in the space, and by extension, sharpness in the mind. From a Buddhist perspective, the mind is like a field. Whatever energies you plant there, peace, tension, sharpness, will eventually bear fruit. Visible blades, left out without care, act as seeds of agitation. They teach the heart to stay on guard, to stay ready to fight, even when there is no need. By storing knives and scissors properly, within drawers, behind closed cabinets, you are not just tidying up. You are cultivating an atmosphere of protection, peace, and mindfulness. It is a simple act, but a profound one. It says to the world, and to yourself, here, in this space, we value safety over speed, peace over sharpness. So tonight, as you stand in your kitchen, take a gentle look around. Notice where the sharpness still lingers. With gratitude for their service, tuck the blades away. Because when sharp edges are softened in your space, the sharp edges within your own heart begin to soften too. And in that softening, you make room again. For kindness, for laughter, for a wealth far greater than coins could ever measure. Part 8, The Dining Table, Circle of Connection. In every culture, the dining table holds a sacred place. It is more than just a surface for meals. It is a silent witness to laughter, to conversations whispered late into the night, to the quiet weaving of bonds that form the fabric of a family. In the wisdom of Feng Shui and the teachings of mindful living, the dining table is seen as the heart of connection. A living altar where nourishment extends beyond food, into love, gratitude, and community. Yet too often, in the name of saving space or convenience, the dining table is pushed against a wall, tucked into a corner, half forgotten. Someone sits with their back to the room, disconnected from the circle. And little by little, without anyone noticing, the energy of togetherness begins to unravel. There's a story about a family named the Harrisons. At first, they hardly noticed the change. Dinner became quicker, quieter. Their teenage daughter often chose to eat alone in her room. Conversations grew shorter, each person absorbed in their own thoughts. It wasn't until their youngest son asked, almost innocently, "Why don't we all sit together anymore?" that they paused and looked, really looked, at their dining table. It was pressed tightly against the wall, leaving no room for true gathering. Moved by that simple question, they made a small but profound change. They pulled the table away from the wall. Just a few inches, but enough. They made sure every seat had an open view, a place in the circle. The first dinner after the shift was awkward at first. But slowly, over meals, the warmth returned. Stories were shared. Laughter bloomed again. The table became, once more, a circle of connection, a place where hearts touched before plates were emptied. Energy, like water, needs space to flow. When the dining table is open, accessible from all sides, it becomes a magnet for harmony, for abundance, for invisible threads of love that hold a home together. In Buddhist practice, sharing a meal is considered a sacred ritual. It is a practice of presence, of gratitude, of acknowledging the interdependence of life. When even one person is pushed aside, facing a wall, the circle is broken. The flow of energy fractures. And a meal becomes an isolated act, rather than a shared blessing. If your dining table is pushed against the wall today, consider this a gentle invitation. Pull it forward. Make space for every soul at your table to feel seen, welcomed, and embraced. Because a family that eats together, truly together, plants seeds of abundance that no hardship can uproot. And a home where connection flows freely at the table becomes a home where wealth, in every sense of the word, finds a place to stay. Part 9. How small rituals shape big fortunes. In a world obsessed with grand gestures, it's easy to overlook the quiet power of the small. We wait for life-changing opportunities, for lucky breaks, for miracles that will turn our fortunes overnight. But the true architects of abundance are rarely found in moments of drama. They are built, almost invisibly, in the daily, humble rituals we perform without thinking. The way we place a bowl on a shelf. The way we wipe a counter. The way we open a refrigerator door, or close a spice jar with care. Each small act is a brushstroke on the canvas of our destiny. Each gesture either strengthens or weakens the invisible fabric of energy that shapes our lives. There's a story I once heard about a successful entrepreneur, someone whose name is now recognized around the world. When asked the secret to his fortune, he didn't mention talent, strategy, or even hard work, though he had all three. He simply said, "I treat every small thing in my life as if it matters." Because it does. At first, it sounded almost too simple. But when people looked closer, they noticed, he arrived early to meetings. He took time to personally thank his team. He kept his home uncluttered, his desk clear, his kitchen bright and orderly. Not out of compulsion, but out of respect, for the flow of life itself. He understood a principle that ancient wisdom traditions have long taught. Great rivers are born from countless small drops of rain. And so too, great fortunes, whether material, emotional, or spiritual, are born from the small, unseen rituals of daily mindfulness. Every time you store a bowl upright, every time you clear expired items from your cabinets, every time you gently tuck away a knife, you are not just maintaining your kitchen. You are sending a quiet signal to the universe. I am ready to receive. I am ready to care for what I am given. And the universe, patient and attentive, responds in kind. Today, as you walk through your kitchen, see if you can perform even the smallest task as a ritual of awareness. Feel the surface beneath your hand. Offer a silent thank you for the food, the tools, the shelter you have. Move not with hurry, but with reverence. Because in the end, fortune is not something we chase. It is something we prepare a place for, through every small, sacred act of presence. And when your hands move with mindfulness, your life begins to move with grace. Part 10, Final Reflections, Your Kitchen, Your Karma. In the quiet hours of life, it's easy to forget, every space we inhabit is a mirror of our inner world. The kitchen, more than any other place, reflects not just how we eat, but how we receive, how we nurture, how we honor the flow of life itself. When your kitchen is cluttered, neglected, weighed down with forgotten things, it speaks of a spirit carrying burdens too long. It reveals a heart that may have forgotten how to make space for joy, for abundance, for peace. But when your kitchen breathes, clean, open, cared for with mindful hands, it tells a different story. It tells the story of a soul ready to receive blessings, a spirit that trusts life to provide in its own gentle time. In the teachings of karma, every action is a seed. Not just the great acts that make headlines, but the small ones, the way you wipe a table, the way you organize a shelf, the way you bless the food before cooking. Each choice sends a ripple outward, shaping the river of your life. And so today, I invite you to look again at your kitchen, not with critical eyes, but with eyes of compassion. Ask yourself, does this space honor the abundance I seek? Does it reflect the peace I wish to feel? If not, you already know the way forward. Not through drastic overhauls or expensive renovations, but through simple, small acts of care, done with great love. Because your kitchen is not just a room. It is the birthplace of your daily karma. It is the hearth where your fortunes are either stoked bright, or allowed to flicker and fade. Choose to tend it well. Choose to let it sing again with life, with light, with the quiet music of readiness. And life, seeing your readiness, will answer in kind. If today's message touched something within you, I warmly invite you to support this journey. Please like this video to help others find this wisdom. Subscribe to Wisdom of the Dharma to walk deeper on the path of mindful living. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll be gently reminded whenever new insights are shared. Your presence here is a blessing. Your growth is a ripple that touches far more than you know. Thank you for sharing this moment of reflection with me. May your kitchen become a sanctuary of peace. May your home be filled with light. And may your life flow with effortless abundance, from this day forward. Until we meet again, stay mindful, stay open, and stay blessed.